It's a special weekend here at Lafayette College, and special weekends call for special guests, and we're really pleased this weekend to have Joe Maddon, the coach of the world champion Chicago Cubs, with us. And Joe, first of all, congratulations on bringing a World Series championship to Chicago, ending a legendary drought that lasted 108 years. There's Cub Nation, and then there's Lafayette Nation, and all of us in Lafayette Nation are very proud of you.
Thank you. That is a drought. 108 years does equal a drought. Thank you. It's great to be back here on campus.
Joe, let's talk a little bit about your approach, because there isn't a coach or a manager out there whose DNA isn't involved in how they coach their team. And it's said that a team's personality reflects that of the coach. Yours is an interesting blend of art and science. On the one hand, you pioneered the use of analytics and all the shifting that goes on. On the other hand, other end of the spectrum, one of your sayings is try not to suck.
Right.
What makes you tick?
I think it's a lot of different things. A big part of it is when you're growing up as a young player, you get coaches that you think are really good, and you get coaches that you think are really bad. And of course, you take a lot away from the coaches that you thought were good. Coach Root, Bob Root, was my quarterback backfield coach. He's probably one of the best communicators I've ever been around. Coach Schnall was also here. Coach Putnam actually reached out to me today, and we had a nice email conversation. So you learn from the good guys. However, I really think you take away a lot from the guys you didn't like, or the women that you didn't like as coaches. I never want to be like that. And for me, I think a lot of times coaching will get too heavy-handed. It gets too vocal, it gets too loud, and there's too much anger involved. I mean, you shouldn't get angry because your player didn't perform. The only time I get upset is if there's mental mistakes, or if a player indicates to me that he doesn't care. That gets me angry, but I expect mistakes. So I know I've learned a lot from a lot of good coaches, and a lot of them are right here. But you have to understand, I think you learn a lot from the people you thought didn't do it so well too.
You know, Joe, Game 7 was an instant classic. The whole country was watching. It was an emotional roller coaster, and the game involved a lot of emotional decisions that you had to make on the fly. Share some of those moments with us.
Yeah, it's like that every night. Whenever I do work a game in baseball, I learn from Gene Mauch, what you try to do is you try to play the game mentally before, during, and then after. So a lot of the stuff you see happen during the game, I've really scripted prior to the game. And then, of course, things blow up during the game, and you have to just do it on the fly, just like anybody would. And then after the game, I always do like the post-mortem and try to figure it out. But the situation in the World Series, everybody's concerned about Game 7, but I had that written out before the game ever began, and I thought I was playing up pretty well right up to the point where Davis hit a home run. And then all of a sudden, you have to go in another direction, and our guys, it's been really well documented how they got together in the weight room there in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And they did. They got together very nicely. Came out. We played as well as we did.
Fowler,
Jason Hayward.
Jason Hayward,
and then Mikey Montgomery ends up making the last pitch of the World Series. Expected things are going to happen, and then really the unexpected things are going to happen. You have to be able to react to both sides. But I've taught myself to stay in the moment. I'm really a process-oriented person and a manager. But while you're working, one of my concepts is that the process is fearless. I think if you're outcome-based, you're only worrying about wins and losses, you will get nervous, you will get upset, you will become concerned. If you're more process-oriented and you're able to stay in the moment, you're able to manipulate bad moments. Before the playoffs began, I have three team meetings during the course of the year, one in spring training, one at the All-Star break, and then one before the first playoff game. And the meeting I had before the first playoff game, I wanted them to know something bad's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen during this time, and when it does, we have to stay together, we have to regroup, we have to stay focused on the goal at hand. We had different things happen in San Francisco and against the Dodgers, but that was significant, what happened against the Indians. So those are the kind of thoughts that I like to deal with. Those are the kind of thoughts, people say I look calm in the dugout. I'm here to tell you, man, I really, just like we're talking right now, I'm able to process it pretty well because I think I've trained myself to do that. And if you do, then you're prepared for the moment.
Joe, thanks so much for everything.
Thanks for having me, Brett.
Yes,
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.